There are seasons in life where your heart feels like it's walking through a valley that no one else understands. You look around and everyone seems to be moving on, building relationships, starting families, stepping into chapters you've been praying for. And yet your life feels paused, stuck in a season you never planned to stay in this long. You didn't choose this emotional isolation. You didn't choose these quiet nights, the empty rooms, the moments where silence becomes your companion. But somehow it became your reality. And the question that keeps echoing in the back of your heart is, God, why am I still single? What you may not see is that this question, this ache, is not a sign that God has forgotten you. It's a sign that He is preparing you. God never delays without purpose. When He extends a season, it's because something powerful is unfolding underneath the surface. Sometimes God keeps you single because He's healing parts of your heart that you didn't know were broken. You see, life teaches us how to survive, but God teaches us how to love. And before He places someone in your life who is meant to love you deeply, He heals the wounds that could destroy that connection. Some of your pain didn't come from people who hated you. Some came from people who weren't ready for you. And God refuses to let you repeat a cycle that once left you shattered. So He slows you down. He slows the process. Not because He's withholding love from you, but because He's protecting the version of you He's building. There are habits, fears, insecurities, and emotional patterns that God is gently removing from your life. Some of those patterns came from childhood trauma. Some came from past relationships. Some came from moments where you felt unloved, unnoticed, or unchosen. God works through all of that. He sits with you in it. He rebuilds the parts of you that were taught to settle, to shrink, to accept less than what you deserve. He strengthens your self-worth so when love does come, you'll recognize it, you'll value it, you'll guard it, and you won't sabotage it out of fear. Another reason God keeps you single longer is because the person meant for you isn't ready yet. You're not just waiting randomly, you're waiting intentionally. God is writing two stories at the same time. While He strengthens you, He's shaping them. While He puts you through growth, He's guiding them through transformation. While you're learning patience, they're learning responsibility, maturity, and spiritual grounding. When God plans a kingdom relationship, it's never one-sided. The person you're praying for might be fighting battles you don't see, healing from wounds you never knew existed, or stepping into maturity that will allow them to love you in the way you deserve. God also keeps you single because He's trying to protect you from almost. There are people who almost loved you, people who almost chose you, people who almost had the capacity to handle your heart. But almost isn't God's promise. God sees the conversations you didn't hear. He sees the intentions you didn't catch. He sees the future you can't see yet. And sometimes the greatest act of love God shows you is removing people who would have slowed down your destiny. You don't always understand it in the moment, but later you realize if God had given you what you wanted, you would have missed what you needed. God's protection often looks like rejection. But rejection is not always loss, sometimes it's redirection. Every person who left, every relationship that didn't work, every disappointment, every almost that never became forever, was divine protection. You were never abandoned, you were safeguarded. Another powerful reason God keeps you single is because He's teaching you identity. Most people don't realize how easy it is to anchor your value in someone else's presence. Singleness becomes the season where God removes every voice that competes with His. He teaches you who you are, without labels, without relationships, without attachments. He teaches you to love yourself in a way no one else can take away. When you know who you are in God, you don't beg for attention. You don't chase validation. You don't settle for someone who doesn't see your worth. In this season, God is teaching you emotional independence, not to make you hard, but to make you whole. He's teaching you that peace can exist even without companionship. He's teaching you that joy can exist even without romance. He's teaching you that your purpose doesn't begin when someone enters your life, it begins now. When love does come, it will add to your life, not fix it. And perhaps one of the hardest reasons God keeps you single is because He's preparing you for a love that will require emotional maturity. Real love isn't just butterflies and feelings. It requires patience, communication, vulnerability, forgiveness, consistency, spiritual alignment. God isn't preparing you for temporary affection. He's preparing you for lifelong partnership. Marriage is not built in excitement. It is built on endurance. And God is strengthening you for that kind of responsibility. Your timeline is not God's timeline. You may feel late, but God sees you right on schedule. You may feel behind, but God sees you being prepared. You may feel forgotten, but God sees you being refined. God doesn't rush what He values. And you, my friend, are His masterpiece. One day you will look back at this season with gratitude. You will understand why God took so long. You will see how every delay protected you. You will realize how every lonely night shaped you. You will see how every unanswered prayer led you to something better. And the moment you meet the person God has chosen for you, everything will make sense. The healing, the waiting, the tears, the silence, the preparation. None of it was wasted. None of it was random. None of it was punishment. It was God loving you in the most intentional way. When the right person enters your life, you won't question the wait. You'll thank God for it. Until then, keep growing. Keep trusting. Keep becoming. God hasn't forgotten you, not for a second. And this chapter of singleness is not the end of your story. It's the foundation of something beautiful that's on its way.